Well, I think it's fair to say we need to talk about Gambit. Personally, I'm a big fan of Gambit, so this isn't coming from a place of someone who hates the game mode. This is someone who loves the game mode and wants to see the best of it. I have a bunch of videos about Gambit. I might make a playlist just of Gambit videos. But probably a card for that. Let's just talk about what's good and what's bad about Gambit. I want to get the good out of the way first. The invasions being tuned down in the moat collecting phase is great. Like, the invader changes are great. Only 2 invasions during moat collecting phase, and you can't stack invasions. That's great. Big fan of that change. Being able to store invasions was horrible for the other team. Another great change was that you can't see how many moats people have when you invade. That's really nice, so you can't hunt down the 1 of 15 moats. It makes it a whole lot nicer for the other team. The extra spawns for the invaded group, not for invaders. I'll get into that in a little bit, but if you're being invaded and you get killed, you can engage the invader sooner, which is nice. That's it for invaders. Primevals. Personally, I want to see more primevals with different mechanics, but that would require a more competitive playlist because casuals probably wouldn't remember those mechanics. But how it is now is better than it was before. I was really sick and tired of primevals dying in less than 5 seconds. And I kind of liked Meatball because it did have those immunity phases to slow you down. And it kept the game a little more even. Although that mechanic wasn't great. It was a mechanic, period. This one's a little bit better. I do wish they did the Prime system of the Envoys, which it's pretty close to. They just need to add the Well of Light, and then boom, it's the Gambit Prime version, which I think is better. But personally, I would just like them to bring Gambit Prime back. Every update they've made to Gambit since Prime hasn't been great, personally. And I'm going to get into the negatives of this update. Number 1, heavy ammo. Okay, if you don't understand, heavy ammo has always been a big problem in Gambit. Originally as LMGs, so Thunderlord, Hammerhead, were just the best thing in the game because they had so much ammo and did so much damage and had high stability and range. Xenophage became a menace too when it came out. Truth, another menace. It's a tracking rocket launcher, and that's sort of the trend. Exotic tracking rocket launchers were pretty unstoppable, other than Two-Tail Fox, but G-Horn has good tracking, and Eyes of Tomorrow especially has really good tracking. So those rocket launchers became staples of the game mode. Heavy weapons became the meta very quickly. So that was one of the things Bungie wanted to address, is to reduce the amount of heavy ammo, which in some ways they did. It doesn't drop from enemies unless you have finder mods, but the high value target drops it, which I think is a good thing to do. But it does spawn a crate for the entire team after every wave, which means everyone is constantly getting heavy ammo every time they clear a wave. So everyone has tracking rocket launchers all the time. So if you get invaded, everyone just pulls out G-Horn and looks for the invader. If you are invading, you pull out G-Horn or Eyes of Tomorrow and look for someone. It gets really repetitive and boring. I love invaders, I don't want them removed, but they might as well be with that change. So how would I fix heavy ammo? I would make it every 2 minutes they spawn on the old middle of the map spots. One person grabs 1 crate. And you can't get any more than that. It's every 2 minutes, and high value target also drops a brick for everyone. I think that's nice. It rewards players for looking for high value targets, which it should more. But I also like Kujay's suggestion of everyone spawns with their heavy ammo and no more drops in the game, period. I do think high value targets should drop it, but that's whatever. Other things about the new Gambit game mode that I don't like. Some of the lies. They made it sound like invaders were getting new spawns. They didn't. It's the same 3 spawns on every map that it always has been, which sucks for invaders because it's really easy to predict those spots a lot of the time. All in all, I don't like the Gambit changes. It feels like one step forward in some aspects, but major steps back in others. I think the best way to handle Gambit is to have a casual mode that is just very enjoyable, very fun, and pretty easy to pick up, while also having a more complicated competitive mode for players that want to play the game more. I do believe that Gambit could be like a viable esport and a really fun one to watch and participate in. But that just takes steps from Bungie in that direction, and I hope they do pursue that in the future. But there's just so many issues with Gambit as is now that just prevents that. Anyways, see you next time.